Hi everyone, it's Celia, Chelsea, Greenwich Village Residential Properties. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today we're going to take a stroll through the East Village, and I'm going to point out to you some special buildings, both residential and commercial. Before we begin our tour, however, I'm just going to ask, in the event you get value out of the content I share, and you haven't already done so, I'd appreciate it if you consider subscribing to my channel. Additionally, if you're looking to rent, buy, or invest in residential properties in the Chelsea, Greenwich Village, Hudson Yards, and Flatiron districts, and you aren't already working with another agent, it would be my pleasure to assist you with the process. So what we're looking at now is the Merchant House. The Merchant House is located East 4th Street in the East Village. So this house dates back to 1832. It belonged to a wealthy merchant who was named Treadwell. And as you can see, it's designed in the Federal Greek Revival style. What's special about this house is that it's one of the only 19th century family homes in New York City that has remained intact, both the interior and exterior. So it's now a museum, and inside we have the original home furnishings and clothing of the Treadwell family. I'll give you a closer look at the beautiful architectural design on the front door.
Good. Good.
So here, as you know, if you enjoy architecture, we have some amazing buildings. It's a beautiful one. If you can see the intricate carvings on the exterior. And what I like is that although we now have modern buildings, the architects were sure to make sure that the buildings would blend into the rest of the homes or structures on the street. So nothing is out of place. Everything is in harmony with each other. We're now approaching Cooper Square. Cooper Square you can look at as being the hub of life in the East Village. So Cooper Square, right now at East 4th and Bowery, we have numerous restaurants and other services such as dry cleaners, gyms, supermarkets, anything you can think of that would be needed to exist around here is conveniently located in Cooper Square. I don't know if you had a chance to watch the video I did on Washington Square Park in the West Village. However, I mentioned that New York University, the acronym NYU, a good way to spot their property is by their purple banners. So NYU has a lot of properties in the East Village also, and what we're seeing is the Gray Art Museum. So if you hadn't had a chance to look at the video I did on Washington Square Park, I encourage you to do so. What you're looking at now is the Village Voice. The Village Voice was built in 1955. It was founded by Norman Mailer and several of his peers. So the Village Voice is the nation's first alternative news publication. Thus far, it has won 3 Pulitzer Prizes for journalism and numerous other awards. So I'll back up to get you a better view of the Village Voice. Right in front of us, we have Cooper Triangle, which is a small park, and in it there's a lovely monument to Peter Cooper, who the park is named in honor of. So more about Peter Cooper when we return. I'm just going to cross the street and show you a wonderful off-campus residence housing. It's a bit sunny, but what you're looking at now is the Educational Housing Services building. And this building provides housing for students and also interns. They have 2 and 3 bedroom suites, complete with both bathrooms and kitchens. And on the ground level, there's a common area for students to study. While we wait to cross the street. So now we've arrived at Cooper Triangle, and I mentioned earlier it's named in honor of Peter Cooper. So Peter Cooper was an industrialist, philanthropist, and inventor. 3 of his common inventions that you may know about are the steam locomotive, Jello, and glue. So the citizens of New York erected the statue in honor of Peter Cooper for all of his philanthropic deeds, especially establishing Cooper Union, which is a prestigious school. Behind the statue, this lovely brownstone, is Cooper Union. What's special about Cooper Union, it's specifically targeted for students who are majoring in the sciences and the art. So when Mr. Cooper established the school, he wanted it to be tuition-free. Additionally, it was co-educational and people of all races were given admission as long as they met the academic standards. So there's a close-up of Cooper Union. Up until 2014, the school did indeed remain tuition-free. However, due to the economy, they started charging students tuition, but students automatically get 50% off. Last time I checked, tuition was over $40,000 and they paid approximately $22,000 out of pocket. I did hear that there are plans underway, once the economy gets better, to return to making the school tuition free. So the school is extremely competitive. They only have a 22.5% acceptance rate. One of the famous alums of the school is the late Milton Glaser, who was the graphic arts designer who created the I Love New York logo. So this is where he got his degree. So as you can see, it takes up the entire block, East 5th Street, and coming across the Lafayette and Astor Place. Magnificent structure. So here it was registered a national landmark in 1962. So we're at the intersection. You see the sign, it says Cooper Square and Astor Place. So Astor Place is named in honor of John Jacob Astor. John Jacob Astor was the first millionaire in New York. He made his wealth in the fur trade, specifically beaver pelts. So we have quite a few things that carry Esther's name. I'm going to show you one of them, which is our subway. This bright green structure in the middle is the entrance, the uptown entrance to the Astor Place subway station. So this is the number 6 train line that will take you uptown and to the Bronx. So the kiosk, as we call it, the entrance, was inspired by the train station kiosks in Budapest, Hungary. Budapest, Hungary has the second oldest underground subway system, and we copied that design from them. I'm going to take you downstairs quickly to show you some wonderful tiles that date back to the opening of the station. And the tiles were to celebrate Astor's entrepreneurial acumen in terms of the beaver trade. So here we have one of them. You see it's a beaver. And that's because Mr. Astor made his fortune selling beaver pelts. Right. When we get back upstairs across the street, you're going to see a Starbucks. And on the other side of the street, we have Wegmans. Oh, before we leave Astor Place, I should mention that the London Underground system was what inspired our subway station. And the Astor Place station is one of the first 28 subway stations that were originally built. So here we have Wegmans Supermarket. I don't know if you're familiar with it. It's a wonderful place to shop. Wegmans opened in the Village in October of last year, which is 2023. So it's the first Wegmans in New York City. Thank you. So I'm just going to show you from the entrance. We don't really have time to look around. So they have both this level and the basement. So they have a wonderful selection of both domestic and imported goods. You have a nice selection of meat, seafood, organic produce. They also have a nice hot section. You get hot food, pardon me, rotisserie chicken. They have a lot of salads, sandwiches, and a nice section for pizza. So whenever you're in the Village, do stop by and check it out. They're located at the corners of Lafayette and Wanamaker. All right, it's our light. We're going to make a left on East 10th, and I'm going to show you the magnificent Grace Church. So you're getting a glimpse of it from here. When we get closer, I'll tell you more about it. right, so there is Grace Church. Grace Church is an Episcopalian church that was built in 1847. It was designed by a brilliant 25-year-old architect by the name of James Renwick. So James Renwick went on to design St. Patrick's Cathedral, the Smithsonian in DC, and also Vassar College. So you'll notice the magnificent Gothic Revival style architecture. So what's special about the marble that's used at Grace Church, it was all quarried by inmates at Sing Sing Prison in upstate New York. We'll look at the beautiful doors.
Is the music on?
Yes, it is. So right beside the church, we have the rector. You can see the cherry blossoms are beginning to bloom. It's officially spring. Still very chilly. It's currently 30 degrees. Okay, so that is the magnificent Grace Church, which, as you can imagine, is a landmark building. The final thing I'm going to point out to you today is Strand Bookstore. So Strand Bookstore is a wonderful bookstore that was started by a man named Mr. Bass. He named it Strand after a very popular street in London where some of the literary greats such as William Thackeray and Charles Dickens would gather. So Strand Bookstore here carries both rare, new and used books. And according to them, they have approximately 18 miles worth of books inside. So as you can imagine, they host numerous literary events here, where there is book readings, author signings, outside they always have a section where they have books that are specially priced. You can see a few of them here. So I'll just take you down the road. You get a feel for how massive Strand Bookstore is. It takes up the entire block. The people that you see online, they're waiting to sell their books back there. So Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays between 10 and 4 p.m. If you have your books you'd like to sell to the bookstore, you're free to do so between those hours. So I'll just show you quickly the interior. Usually it's very crowded in the bookstore. So we'll just stop at the door to have a quick look around. So there are 2 levels. They have an upstairs. It goes all the way in the back. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed today's tour. I will be doing part 2 next week, so be sure to tune in for that. So until then, as always, I will wish you a wonderful rest of your day and week. And I look forward to you joining me another time for another wonderful tour of the Village, Chelsea, Hudson Yards, and Flatiron districts. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.